I love America, and I just love the American way of life. And for me, seeing what happened in New York with the Twin Towers, that just kind of really got to me. I joined the Army in 2002 so that I could do my part for the country that I love. I love the Army. The camaraderie, the training. I completely saw myself spending 20 years or more in the Army. We got deployed to Kirkuk, which was a forward operating base. During that deployment, I did see a lot of action. I drove a recovery vehicle, and I would go out with the convoys, and if anything got damaged or anything broke down, I would have to hook up to it and drag it back. And I went on 96 convoys. I remember one mission where we had to go out and recover another recovery vehicle that had gotten stuck in the mud with another 6 Humvees. And that's pretty much the worst one because while we were trying to recover those vehicles, we were getting incoming mortar fire. And when I said, just get in the cab of the truck, so we got into the cab and just bunker down as these explosions were going off around us. The sound of a mortar coming at you is something that you'll never forget because it's kind of a high-pitched squeal when it's coming through the air. But just the fear of having your life in jeopardy like that, it's something that just you can't get rid of. It's just something that you can never leave behind. It'll follow you for the rest of your life. While I was deployed, I came back for R&R and I got my wife pregnant. So my daughter was actually born while I was deployed in Iraq. I was actually on a convoy when I heard over the radio that my daughter was born and that I had become a father. The way that I left the Army was during a training exercise, I had to do a fireman carry. And while putting a 250-pound soldier on my back, I felt a stabbing pain at the base of my back. And I pretty much just collapsed to the ground. They found that I had compressed 2 discs in my back, and that made me non-deployable. They decided that it would probably be best to separate me for medical reasons. Next thing I know, I'm out of the Army with a bad back. I always thought that I would spend 20 years in the military. So to get out of the military at 32 and start pretty much from scratch, you reach a point where you're like, how am I gonna support my family? How am I gonna take care of them and pay rent and buy groceries? So luckily at that time, the GI Bill had made some changes and they were able to help me pay for my rent while I went to school. And that's how I was able to get an education. And while I was going to school, I wasn't getting enough money from the GI Bill to cover my expenses, so that got me into a lot of debt. And it's not something that you see happening, it's just something that you don't realize until it's over what you can handle. And it's hard admitting that there's a problem there and that debt has become such an issue that you can't get out of that. And many times pride as well will keep you from asking for help. It's just a burden that I carry with me, and I'm just grateful to Fighting for Families for whatever help they can provide so that I can give my family a better future and I can tell my daughter, you can have a better life. I just want to thank the Fighting for Families organization for everything they're doing for veterans. I mean, without their help, I don't know where or what I would do. I mean, the help they're providing me and my family is just completely going to change our lives, and I just want to thank Patrick and everyone at his organization for everything they're doing for us. Thank you.